ate final bites by rote, washed them down with iced tea, and he practically carried me out of the restaurant, my hand tucked in his as he led the way toward El Paseo, a nook of stores I adore. I don't feel like shopping, I said with a sigh. Friends, this is when you know grief is horrible. We're not shopping, he replied, smiling. I'm taking you for undie therapy. Okay, this is where I must tell you that while my husband is a romantic at heart, he is not a shopper. He seldom whisks me into stores and says, buy something, I'll sit here and watch you try on outfits by the hours. Nope, and especially lingerie stores. He'd rather die than enter a place selling underwear and bras and risk the chance of bumping into a student or mom from church. His face, no doubt, would match a stewed tomato, and I can only imagine the awkward scene that would unfold if he was caught holding lace hipsters for the entire world to witness. Nope. Anytime he splurges on fun lingerie, it comes to our doorstep, in a box. Bless. Not that I blame him. Growing up, my mom's favorite perfume was Victoria's Secret, a clean romantic scent available in the back of the store, past the undies and bras and silk PJs. This was before they had separate shops for unmentionables and perfume, and my poor dad could not bring himself to walk inside. Call it embarrassment or too many life-size storefront visuals, it was not his comfort zone. Every Christmas Eve morning, he'd wake me, Bekah, get up. You have to come with me to Victoria's Secret so I can get Mom that perfume. First off, why he waited till the last hour is beyond me, but I'd pull back covers and throw on jeans and accompany him to the mall, where he'd hand me money and shift back and forth while I went inside to purchase the biggest bottle they had for Mom. It was endearing and sweet, and it became our inside joke, our Christmas Eve Victoria's Secret tradition. And here Brian was offering undie therapy. His face was focused as he clutched my hand and pulled me forward, clearly a man on a mission. We entered the lingerie store and he ushered me to bins of undies. Pick some, whatever you like. He reached into pink boxes and pulled out lace and satin underwear, bright pink and flowered ones. He's gone mad, I thought. We have both gone officially mad. When I recovered from the shock and understood he was serious, I joined the party, taking my time, strolling the store, running my fingers along soft fabrics, him glued to my side, and something internal brought me to tears. Except for the first time in weeks, they were joy tears, sweet tears, brought on by his thoughtful gesture. As I shopped, a full-length mirror caught my reflection. This, my friends, is when it gets real. Thick fluorescent beams, what is it about store lights? Illuminated dime-sized spotlights all over my blemished skin. I stood close to the mirror and detested my image. Why did I have to look like a middle-aged teenager? Why did I have to feel so ugly in a season when I was already uncomfortable? And why were my chest and back covered in angry bumps? Bry's voice interrupted my thoughts. Did you find any you like? He turned me away from the mirror and cupped my face. And he spoke what I now know to be God's words through Brian's mouth. I want you to know, his eyes began filling, that even though you don't feel beautiful right now, God wants me to tell you that you are. You are so beautiful. And even if nothing else seems that way, I want you to feel beautiful. That's why we're doing undie therapy. He held me under the intrusive light, and for that moment, I felt so unutterably seen and enough. Not in the physical sense, but of a quiet inner worth, knowing all the insecure pain would somehow ignite a different version of beauty from within. I've never been so proud to walk out of a store on Brian's arm, not for the reason that he proudly carried a small bag of gorgeous undies, but for what took place in the store. Later, he shared that God gave him that idea, and not in a cheesy way, but in a genuine, it had to be from God because Brian would never set foot in their way. And it spoke volumes to me. That afternoon in Santa Barbara, a sad girl was told she was beautiful, and she believed it. God's spirit was evident when he used Brian to teach me to look deeper, to look past the facade and peer into the heart. When he took me for undie therapy, he offered a gesture rooting something eternal and sacred inside. Beauty, as Plato said, truly is in the eye of the beholder. And as much as I didn't feel it, Brian did, and in those first raw grief months, God used him to echo tangible worth reminders time and time again, in his words, in his safe arms to ball, in the middle of having friends for dinner and excusing myself because it was all too overwhelming. But he didn't waver once. He also didn't entirely get it. He was God in the shape of my husband who offered the gift of undie therapy to meet a want I wasn't aware needed gentle tending. In a way, we all need undie therapy in whatever form it comes. We all need God to use others to genuinely remind us that we are seen and found worthy and beautiful in their eyes and his. And you know who needs those reminders most?